What do we think of Maffield? Maffield.
¿Qué es lo que pienso de Maffield?
What is crack? It's your boy D-Murph, and we're back with another episode of the Maffield podcast. And here with one of my favorite artists. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Here, it's me, it's AHMED. I'm with love. I got the strawberry milk. That's how you know it's real. I'm in Belfast today. I made the big leap. I'm up north today. Right now, today.
Northside, bit staples in this bitch. Yeah.
Big North. NORF. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much.
Great to see you again.
Yeah, I was buzzing when we got this set up. I remembered like the last time we pulled up. I still watch that video like over and over and over again. You know what I mean? Especially the freestyles.
There's for people that haven't seen that, they need to go back into the lore, see that episode. It was you, courtesy, the artist, and Rory.
Yeah.
And those freestyles, like that's where we first heard the beat for one of the beats on your new album that Rory had flipped. It was the first time. Georgian.
Oh, the Georgian flip. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's how old that song is, man. Like that's how old that song is. It's crazy. I have so many songs on that tape that have been like, they've been there since like the beginning of me like really popping off.
Yeah. It was that was so much fun. I remember actually me and Jack had talked about that a while ago where we were just sat at the back of the room and you went off for like 30 minutes and we were just watching. We were like, this is the favorite thing we've ever done. Like,
it was so fun, man. It was so fun. I keep thinking about it, man. I want it to happen like again, something like that in any capacity. It was so like enjoyable.
I actually think I'll do this for people watching or listening. If you want to see another freestyle, maybe we do one at the end of the season, drop a comment. Do you want to see another Mapfield freestyle at the end of the season? Who do you want on it? Let us know. I just want to throw that in.
I want the editor right here to spin the screen right here. Just have it do one big reverse like that. Actually, have it do the barn doors transition into itself, please. That's my only request. Continue.
Before we get into anything else, I forgot to do the little shout out. Do you want to do the honors and shout out Rira for the podcast?
Ooh, Rira, you see the mean? A delicious little Irish lager sponsoring today's little situation. If I wasn't driving, I'd be drinking 2 of these. Responsibly, of course, because I'm over the age.
I remember the last time when we were there and you were doing like the Squarespace ad things, because I was rewatching this recently. So funny, man. So funny.
Yeah, sponsored by BetterHelp, man. God bless. That's what it is, man. That's the only reason I'd want to have a podcast, is just finding dumb ways of making like segues into sponsors, man.
What would you, if you had a podcast, what would you center it around?
I am trying my best to get me and Gav to have like a radio show.
Oh, man.
And I want it for us to just play like, just go into like, just like every episode, just be us going into tangents and then about just random songs that we have. I like the first episode to be like Talking the Hardest by Gigs Wheeled Up 6 songs, and then just take it from there.
It's like when they debuted Kanye and Jay-Z Otis on the radio. Just like how many times they looped that? Like,
I showed my girlfriend that it's a 30-minute. It took 35 minutes to play a 3-minute song. It's so magical. I showed my girlfriend that like from beginning to end. It is. I'll probably watch that like 6 times to completion. It's really powerful stuff, man.
What other, is there any other moments that live rent free in your head from like music culture in the same way as that? Because I feel like my life really is just tough. I can't sleep because I'm thinking of the fact that Rihanna follows Finch on Twitter. You know, like that kind of stuff.
Is that real?
It's a real thing, man.
That's hard.
Like about 5-6 years ago, she followed him and he has no idea why. He tried DMing her. She didn't respond. But, I mean, hey, she loves Dreamer rappers. What can you say?
Come on, man. The rude boy in question was Finch. And a lot of people don't actually know that. If you check the Genius citations, it's actually that. I'm trying to think what other music things are delivering free. There's definitely some.
I actually looked at your Genius the other day, and there's like a few people that annotate like loads of your stuff, like Connor Dunn.
I was just about to say, I knew it had to be Connor Dunn. Connor Dunn, if you check any of his bits, he's like doing it for every single person in Ireland, and like fucking more power to him, man. Not only is he like top tier like photographer and everything, shout out Connor, but like he's doing what like I wish I could do without me looking cringe, put my own lyrics on Genius. So I'm glad that he's doing it on everyone else's behalf, so it makes me not look as nerdy that I really want to do it.
There was another girl I found, and she was like a huge contributor on Genius, and was like a massive Chris Brown fan, but she was also your top contributor, and it's just like so
Is that real?
So random. Yeah, it was bizarre. Like I googled the person. I'll be able to find it later, but
Yeah,
you see having
Jesus,
those kind of people just riding for you, like
I need that, man. Like one thing, I'm waiting for somebody to start making slowed and reverb mixes of my songs.
Yeah,
I have like 2 hidden on like a private like playlist on YouTube, but I'm like I need someone else to do this, otherwise it doesn't feel fun. You know what I mean? I need someone else to be like, I made a chopped and screwed. Then I'm like, whoa, am I famous or something?
I remember like they used to do those mashups at the end of the year, like of all the different songs. Like people used to do fan things of that.
Oh, those are great.
Yeah,
those are great. That's like the YouTube rewind. Of
yeah. Have you ever had anybody edit your stuff, or people send you like artwork or anything like that?
I am going to play. I remember I got home from work like ages ago, like during my lunch break, and like just before I was about to go on my lunch break, for no reason at all, I got hit with like the dumbest idea ever. And I went home and I like made it real. I found out that Man on a Mission has the same BPM as The Man Who Can't Be Moved. So I just made Men Who Can't Be Moved. I just made the flip.
Man Who Can't Be Moved.
Oh wait, I got my headphones in, 1 second. But no, it is the dumbest thing I've made. And
Man Who Can't Be Moved on a Mission.
Yep. This is real music, man. This is better than anything I've done on the mixtape. I just want that to be on record. Moment of silence for the dead homies.
Just that, yeah, why did we scream? Yo. Fuck Drake. Yo. Don't be trying to ring me phone because it's been done. I'm just filling up a cup to fuck me insides up. I've been inside high like I'm mid-flight. I'm the big guy, you are just a little fry. I'm only making music if it feels right. I'm only blazing doobies just to feel right. Beat the beat up, beat it till the beat dies. People seem to sleep on me, I let the sheep fry. I'm a street guy, street spread.
You know what I mean? This is like, you can see cars moving in like 2 times speed, man. People putting their hands up. You know what I mean? Buildings are being built, man. This is like the future music. This is music when like this is like the world good ending. You know what I mean? This is.
I'm smoking cannabis, I'm feeling deep fried. He sounds weird by the seaside. She sucks deep by the seaside. We get steam by the seaside.
It actually works really well.
I hate how well it works. Because I was like, oh, I might need to change the tempos or something. Not at all. I just like dragged 2 things together. It worked. I was like, this is magical.
That's crazy. Man,
So yeah, that probably is it. Like that's the only mashup I can think of, man. I know Rory made a remix of Men on a Mission, but he also made Men on a Mission, so he didn't have to do all that.
Man, that is high art. That
It
is
really is,
incredible.
man. You forget that, like, get that music's in here, and then a song like that comes, and you're like, I should text my mom. I should hit her up.
That for real, that song. I still think that original Men on a Mission song is like top for me. Like top 3 songs come out of Ireland last decade. Like so good, man.
That. And like, I think the best part about it is it's like it's like a big example of like the main thing I'm talking about, where it's just like all good music or all good art just comes from like just being true to yourself and just having fun.
Yeah.
Like, that song's made in 15 minutes.
No
like
way.
The beat was made in like there. We had all like, that's the first time me, Rory, and Gav like linked up ever. That's the first time I saw Gav. Yeah, in real. That's the first time I saw Gav ever. Like I was friends with Rory before because like our girlfriends at the time were friends, and then we knew each other through that. And then he started sending me beats. But that's the first time we like linked up in person, me and Rory, and the first time me, Rory, met Gav as well in his house. And then he kicked for like Rory was there, made the beat. I told him, I was like, put that sound in there. Put that sound. And then like afterwards we just recorded the verse 15 minutes. That was like the name of like the file name is Curtis Ahmed Rory 1. And there's like 4 other songs that we made. So that's literally the first song we did ever.
That is
So
insane.
it's like, you know what I mean? Like, and then we just sort of like, on YouTube, making each other laugh like this. Stuff like that, man. That's why I love making music with them boys, man. It's just, you're just having fun.
Yeah.
Music is just the byproduct of having fun.
But I think you can feel that in the song, and I think like I'm sad that you just never become an actual boy band, to be honest. Like,
I've been like pushing it. I really have. I've been like trying to figure out some way we can like get like matching sequins or something. You know what I mean? You gotta have like matching tattoos, minimum.
Yeah, like bring back fucking terrible tank tops, tight jeans, and talk show
Bring back
performances.
rap crews. We gotta bring like a whole rap conglomerate, like a whole stable of rappers that like end up hating each other in 2-3 years time. But I think we need to do that.
But when it starts off,
but when it starts
magic.
off, it's great, and you're like, this will never end. And then you're like, how come Odd Future don't drop that many videos on the Odd Future channel? You know what I mean? That's how I want to go.
But like for real, I think like rap crews are the most exciting thing when they come together and they have that sort of frenetic energy. Like for me, it's Brockhampton when I was younger. Like when that shit was coming together, like the amount of music they were putting out in quick succession, you could tell they were having fun, so creative. And there is elements in what you're doing, like with Rory and Courtesy and stuff like that, that has that energy.
I think everyone is like unofficially part of the Irish Hash Mafia.
That's
been set up by Rory Sweeney. It's been up by Carlos Danger, actually, I should say. Everyone is just like unofficially, like it's like the way like Wu-Tang has the Killer Bees affiliates. That's how it is. Everyone's part of Irish Hash Mafia. They just don't know it yet.
Fucking right. I would love like one collab. Like I know Irish Hash Mafia is a thing, but like one official coming together as like a boy band or a group, like tour and fucking tape. That'd be hard.
That would be. I'm gonna try and get Roy to do Irish Hash Mafia tour.
That'd be sick.
I'm gonna do. I think that I'm gonna steal that. I want you to know that's what's happening. I'm gonna steal it. I'm looking at the fourth wall. I'm actually looking at Roy Sweeney in his house. I know he's in his boxers. We're gonna do a tour as Irish Hash Mafia. It's gonna be really cool.
I mean, what else has been going on with you? Like, you've dropped the tape. How's the reception been?
It's been like going pretty well. Like it's been going like I was gonna say unnecessarily well. I guess unnecessarily well, but like unprecedented.
Well. Yeah.
Thank you. But like unprecedentedly well, I guess. Like just the support I'm getting from like a lot of people. Like Spotify's rocking with it. Like just a load of people. Even like prior to the mixtape dropping, and then like the build up towards it, I've just been getting like a load of eyes on me. Just like a load more people just really just like putting some heat behind me. It also worked out really well that it tied in like it was like a week after I'd done my like Ireland Music Week showcase. And I don't know, the buzz I was getting even before I did that showcase was crazy. Like I would go in there and people would be like, oh, you're on my love. Like everyone's been talking about you in Ireland Music Week. I'm like, I don't know why, but I am honored that that's what's happening because it makes like my life a little easier to like push my stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's weird. It's like surreal for me to finally have like one big body of work because like I'm super like you probably know it already. I'm super like finicky and picky with everything. Like you know what I mean? Like we've been like last time I was up in Belfast doing a podcast was like what 2021, 2022.
Yeah, 2022.
Yeah, and that was like I had like buzz then.
Yeah,
I could have done something then, but I was just like, there's no like I don't feel right doing it. I can't do anything unless I'm like in the headspace of like this is right to do it. It feels right to do it now. And like finally I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm like ready to drop stuff.
I guess like was there something that you wanted to say, or was there like was it around a period in your life or something, or what sort of pushed you over the threshold to create and release a body of work?
I think I just knew, like, I think to just reward myself in my head of like all the work I had been doing prior and like all like the kind of strives and little milestones I hit. Cause it's very easy for me and very often for me to just like forget that like, oh, I do some stuff. You know, like I do things and I like should be like proud of it. Like I don't really feel like pride in anything because I just do something and then I'm like, cool, let me go do something else now. Like it's just like the work up to something is really great for me. Then it happens and then it's over and then I have to just do something else. So I'm just like, you know what I mean? I never give myself credit to be like, oh, you should like reward yourself or do something like that. And I guess like doing this mixtape for me, it was like, you've done a lot of stuff. You've got like, you know what I mean? An all right amount of buzz in Dublin and Ireland and like you're making cool stuff and people rock with it. you should like, I think you're ready to like make a project or at least put out like all the songs that like mean a lot to you. Like a lot of the songs, like all the songs in like the mixtape, the most important part of them for me was the fact that like I wanted you to hear everything in that piece and just go like, oh, I can like tell how Kareem is. I can tell how like not even just I'm with love is just like how Kareem is as a person. I like whenever like you can listen to a song and go like, oh, I can tell his personality through that song.
Yes.
And I pick like all the songs that do that. And I made songs that like, it's not like intentional, but like all the songs there, like the songs I like the most. And I like them the most because they're the most like me songs.
Because I think something you do incredibly well in this is like capture the breadth of your personality and stuff. Like, so on a song like whatchamacallit, you're being silly and having fun, but at the same time, you're like stepping on people's necks. You're like telling them, I can really rap. And you're able to show those two things at once, which I think is really cool. Because sometimes people go one way or the other where it's like, I'm a big serious guy, I need to show you this. But two things can coexist at once. And that's quite often how you are.
You know what I mean? Like, it's, I don't know, like in my head, I'm like, I know I can rap. And I'm like, I'd like to think other people can like know you can rap. Sometimes you get like bogged down and you're like, oh damn, do people really be listening to like what you're actually saying? But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to be like focusing on that. There's no point there where like I'm just like, oh, let me get on a beat and I'm like, I can swallow a bottle of alcohol and like there's no need. I don't need to do any of that. When I find it much more impressive for me to be like, how can I like do something fun and silly really well? You know what I mean? Take myself seriously while not being serious. You know what I mean? Like I'm saying dumb stuff, but I'm saying it like really well, and I like that. You know what I mean? Like what is whatchamacallit talking about? It's not talking about me having a car and calling it a whatchamacallit as zippity doo dah, and me going, that's so funny and stupid. I'm gonna use that and just keep going. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, there's like beauty in just being able to like. There's beauty in like your art being like a certain level and then your subject matter also being a certain level. You know what I mean? Like I do love like the juxtaposition of like me saying like whatever the heck, but I'm just doing it really well.
Yeah.
So I really do enjoy that. And like as you said there, like being able to see my personality and stuff is super important to me. Especially like when I was like growing up, I was like super shy when I was in Sierra Leone. Like I was like basically mute. I wasn't talking to nobody. So then when I moved back to Ireland, I was like, I should like, I'll just fake it till I make it. I'll just pretend to be really confident or whatever. But it's very important to me just to be like, you need to like give yourself the justice, just like letting people just accept you for you and just be yourself as much as possible. So like anytime like I'm dropping stuff like this, it has to be like an extension of and like a portrayal of me. Otherwise it's like, I don't like doing that. I don't like being like something I'm not in a song, you know?
Yeah.
Even if I'm talking about stuff that doesn't happen, it's still like in the same realm of my character, you know what I mean? And that's more important to me than anything.
You're saying there about being shy when you're in Sierra Leone. You had a song that is called Shy, but it's in Portuguese, am I right?
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that? And is that a reference to being shy when you're younger?
Not even that. I've got like a good few songs. Is it the last one you're talking about, or
is it Ancantado, I think?
Oh yeah, Acanado. I think it's like brief pause or whatever, but I think it also means like shy or whatever. Just keeps taking that brief pause. But yeah, like even that like interlude, like a big part in the project for me was just making it seem like super cohesive. Like I love like just nice cohesive pieces of work. So I was like, oh, I'd love to have like a narrator, but I also just love like Brazilian music. So I was like, I'll just have him be my friend Eduardo, who's from Brazil, just speak in Portuguese. I was like, the Portuguese people will get it. They'll love it.
It reminds me again of Brockhampton. They had Roberto doing the Spanish narration as well. So who is Eduardo? Is he a mate?
He's great, man. He's we met for the first time when I was in a youth theater. We met when I was in like Dublin Youth Theater when I was younger, just before COVID hit. And he's only there for 5 months, but we kept in contact a lot. And he's actually part of a band, Burglar, that were also in Ireland Music Week. So he's a super talented musician. But I remember we would always send each other, like, he would send me a few, like, Brazilian musicians from, like, the 70s and 80s. And then, like, I'd send him stuff that I found as well. So he's just started making a playlist together. It's, like, 10.5 hours long at this point now. So I remember when I, like, was coming up with the idea of this whole tape, I knew I was like, I have a World Cup, which is pretty Brazilian influence. And I was like, I just love Brazilian music. I might as well just like, let me make that like what like kind of bridges everything together. And I was like, let me get Eduardo on it because it's like, I haven't seen him in a while. It means I get to chill with my friend Eduardo and do stuff. Like the last song, like he does all the interludes and everything, but the last song is like, that's him singing, you know what I mean? That's him singing and playing guitar. Like I made sure like we all met up one day, me, him, Kilte, my DJ engineer, my bestie, and then Owen O'Farty. We all went up to his house, and I was like, the only thing I want to do today is just make a bossa nova song, and that's it. And then I was like, well, let's do that. And that's what the last song on the track is just a bossa nova song. So I was like, that's the only way I could see me ending this project.
What were you sort of, for the interludes and stuff with Eduardo, what direction were you giving him for those, and even the opening of the album?
I kind of want him to be like a friend, or just like your internal dialogue. So that's just like a friend just being like, what's up? Like even the intro is just him just saying like, hey man, you finally did it, you're making this mixtape, how are you feeling? You know what I mean? And then Akinado is me just like being down on myself, and him kind of being a shoulder to cry on or whatever, just being like, man, what's up? You know what I mean? You're really not yourself or whatever, tying into like Help Wanted and stuff like that. Like the whole tape is kind of just like stream of consciousness, just like how like fluctuating my mind gets at times, from just like really happy and confident about shit to just like really like fucking down on myself and like super confused and muddled. I feel like Eduardo, just like internal dialogue, just being like, are you all right? What's going on?
Is that reflective of all of like your friendship with him?
Not even with their friendship with him. It's more reflective of just like, I guess, my friendship with myself. You know what I mean? Like,
more in how he is being supportive of you.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, okay, yeah. No, like like even like it's not even like he's like one of the friendos where like I didn't even see him much, but like it's one of those friends like you see him and like you pick up from where you left off for sure.
Yeah.
And like all of this like stuff with the tape just made us like become a lot closer. But anytime I'd be chatting to him, it's been nothing but like love and support from both sides. So he's definitely like a perfect person I could have asked to like play that role, especially like because of the fact that like he's the main reason I have these Brazilian influences in my music. Like I wouldn't have gone into that like big rabbit hole of like Brazilian music, like bossa nova, tropicalia, MPB, and all of that, if it wasn't for Eduardo showing me like Tim Maia when I was younger, and then me showing him like Caetano Veloso and just straight like Jorge Benjor and just like a load of Brazilian musicians back and forth. Like, sick. So it was very much in my head. I was like, this makes sense that like the tape I do with Brazilian influences has the person who influenced me in Brazilian music.
Is there any like moment or experience with him that like if you could immortalize would really showcase important parts of how the tape came apart or came together?
I think like the whole track of like At the Logo is probably the best way of like immortalizing that, because that's just us like coming together and just chatting. Is like the purest form of me just like going in one day going like, this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it, and then we did it, and just like having fun and figuring out what it looks like. Yeah, very organic how that came out. I was just like, you just play some bossa nova chords, and he did, and I was like, okay, play those two. And I was like, he was like, what do you want me to say in Portuguese? I was like, just talk about like, what are we talking about? Like the main thing of that song is just like shit happens, but that's all right. You know what I mean? Like that's just how it is. Yeah. Which is like pretty like my big mantra of anything. Like anytime something happens, I'm just like, it's whatever. Like things happen and then you just keep going. Cause like, you know what I mean? It can't, if it's bad, it's bad. And now we just figure out what else happens. And that's the whole like thing of that song. I'm just like, things happen. That's cool. So I was telling them, I was like, talk about that. Yeah. And he did like a really pretty verse about like him being like the start of his verse is him just talking about like him being back in Brazil as a kid next to like the amusement park near his house, near like his little village in Brazil somewhere, which like it's just really cute and wholesome. You know what I mean? Like there's just a lot of just talking. Yeah. That's what I love a lot about songs where people are just like, we're just talking. Yeah. You know what I mean? There is
when I was going through the credits, I seen someone with the same second name as you, and I was like, is this a family member that got credits on it? Oh, and then is it your brother?
No, the one Hawa Tamu is that's my mom, because she's like the first person in that song Oxymoron. That's just like a voice message of her. Okay. And like I love just like being able to just give random people credits on songs for like if you do like any single thing in the song, I'll be like, credit
Yeah.
writer. So my mom like had that voice message. I remember I messaged her. I was like, Mom, you're in a song, and I sent it to like my little brother and sister. I was like, go show Mom this song. She's like, oh wow, I don't have Spotify, but thank you. But yeah, like it was cute, like just being able to like put her down there, and like because I remember I've had that song for ages, Oxymoron, probably 2021 or 2020, and I just like for no reason at all, I was like, my mom just sent me like that message on WhatsApp, and I was like, I'm gonna put that on a song for no reason. So just really cute just to have stuff like that there. She's a credit there. My friend Amelka Brown is a credit for like, he's like the UK, the British guy at the end of Yes of Course, just like bigging me up because I made that song in London, and I was just there. He's like one of my good friends from when I was in Sierra Leone. So I was like, just say something at the end.
Yeah.
And just had fun with it. So
what about the Jamie Carragher sample? Where did that come from?
Oh man, that was just Adam, aka Poser, the producer of that song. Shout out to him. For no reason at all, he just put that in the beat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel so bad because like a lot of people just being like, "Oh man, that sample was great. That was a great idea." I was like, "That I had nothing to do with that." Like, like I got it like that, and I was like, "This is great." I didn't even think people would like rock with it like that much, but people love that sample, man. I had like nothing to do with that. That was just like Adam was like, "That's a funny sample," and I was like, "Haha." He said hard drive. That's a music thing.
You were saying about going back to Sierra Leone. I was doing some digging and I found this post from years ago. Well, what is this bring up for you? we can bring it. We'll get
That's bars. That's crazy.
For people that are listening that aren't watching,
It's a picture of me with my shit on, is what it is. I've got my HTC. I took a selfie on the plane. To Sierra Leone is what it says on it. Fuck, the more you look at it, the harder he gets, man. Tell me if Kanye didn't wear that, that wouldn't go hard. Tell me Kanye has not worn that fit, man. Like we always do it this time. I see this picture and I raise you another photo.
Okay.
Because I always get like Androids, I have all my pictures backed up since like the first time I had a phone.
Oh, that's
the
sick.
very first like picture at the bottom of my like gallery is this fucker right here. You know what I mean? He's really got his shit on, bro. I really got that shit on, bro. That's real music, bro. I really do this, bro. I'm really a rapper, bro. I'm not messing. Oh man, and those are the pictures I kept. I deleted other pictures, and I was like, no, that one's hard though. I was like, no, but that one can stay.
Tell me about this photo. When was this?
I think the caption's self-explanatory, man. I took it
2014.
Yeah.
What age would you have been?
Took a picture on the plane. 14. We've been 14. I was going to Sierra Leone. Looked fresh. Took a picture in the toilet in the plane. I was like, they gonna fuck with this. The streets are gonna change when I land. You know what I mean? They will stand up when I sit after that picture.
What's your favorite photo on your camera roll that you have that you could share with viewers?
I think I already shared it. I don't think it really gets better than that, to be honest. Like everything else is just pretty stupid. Again, I took this picture recently and I just like it because it's so wholesome. It's like the benefits of like dating a posh girl from the north side of Dublin. It's just like you get to take her dogs everywhere.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? So I'm just like posted up in her holiday home with the doggies. You know what I mean? Like I'm really him, man. I'm domesticated now. That's how you know I made it, man. You know what I mean? What are you doing? You're sleeping in bed like a dickhead. I'm living large, man. I'm doing weird stuff on the weekends. You don't even understand, bro. I'm going to Castleknock. I got to put 4 numbers on the gate to open it. You just walk into your house like that. You freak. Fucking scrubs. As a matter of fact, Dylan, I hate your fans. I hate every single person there.
What's an average day for Ahmed with Love?
Wake up, get my cake up, sleep. Honestly, like unironically, I guess that is the day because like I like up until today, I've been working full time at the pharmacy. Like
no Dr. Dre.
No Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre never worked in the clinic. I worked in the mental hospital for 8 months. Like we're not the same, Mr. J. But yeah, no, I've been working in a local pharmacy, like 5 minutes away from my house for the past like 3 years. Cause like, fun fact, I study pharmacy. I got like my bachelor's in pharmacy, and then hopefully my master's very soon. So
but you work there in like this is the start of my come up story way, not a I'm going to be a pharmacist forever kind of way.
It kind of is a bit of both. Anytime like, I don't know, the idea of ever being like, oh, music's going to be my career scares me. Yeah. Because then I'm like, if it becomes my job, then I might not like it. But if it's my hobby, I have to actively like make sure I'm making time for my hobby. Yeah. Like, this whole mixtape was done while I was working like full time. Like I was working Monday to Friday every day. And like, I think on maybe 2 occasions max, I had to like call in sick to do stuff for like music. Cause I couldn't move stuff. But other than that, like I'd have to tell people like, oh, I can't do this. I have work. Or like I'd tell like people like, oh, I'll come like, but I'll be like an hour or 2 late cause I have work. Like, you know what I mean? Like I hate, cause I really like my boss. I love my boss. Shout out to Tom, big Limerick boy. But, I just don't like taking time off of work if I can try. Like, I love taking time off work, actually, but I feel bad about it. So, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I just, like, every time, I just, like, work 9 to, like, 8:30 to 5:30 or, like, 10 to 7. And then I'm like, okay, now I just have to do all, like, the fun, creative stuff in the evening and the weekends. I got a lot of burnout. Yeah. I'm very good at getting burnt out. Like, but that's what like that's kind of how like the mixtape stuff went about. Like I'd be like on my lunch break or my 15-minute break, just like sending emails and like prepping stuff for releases and stuff, scheduling posts, and just going back to like working in a busy pharmacy. Yeah. And then like coming home like in the evening and just getting back to doing stuff. You know what I mean? Like I've definitely missed like deadlines and stuff where I was like, oh, I'm supposed to post this then, but I was like, I'm at work. Yeah. I don't know what to do. Like people are dying. I'm giving people their meds.
Yeah. Well, like, what I guess are your goals then? Is it just to continue having fun and doing fun shit?
I think my goals are really just like, I just like creating stuff in general, regardless of music. I just like making things. Like that's why I have like Ahmed with, and then just like a load of stuff. Like I'm with merch or I'm with stuff. Like I love putting on shows. I love making merch like a lot. That's why I made like the GAA jerseys.
They went hard.
I like making the shows. That's why I did Clash. You know what I mean? Like I love like putting like things on. My whole thing is like, anytime I start a sentence of like, wouldn't it be funny if, then I have to do it because it's just like I have to commit to the bit.
Man, you like
I have to commit to the bit.
The thing, it's punctuation and grammar is like your whole thing. This is the thing that's been stuck in my head. It's like
has to be
Ahmed, comma with
comma,
love.
Full stop.
It's like comma full stop.
Comma full stop has to be done. Like people like, you know what I mean? If Tyler the Creator can do it, people never forget the comma for Tyler, and it's like, oh, that's a tough word to say. I don't know. Zach Galifianakis. You know what I mean? Like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like those are big words, but they make you say them. Yeah, they made you learn. You know what I mean? They're not easy words to say. You have to figure that out because they made you figure it out. Yeah. It's not hard to put a comma and a full stop. That's why you did English class. You scrub. Like what are you doing? You know what I mean? This isn't hard to put a little comma and a full stop on the end of something. Just it's grammar, bro. It's syntax. But no, like, I don't know. Like just the idea of making art the main job is like, I feel like knowing me, it'll naturally be that way, but also knowing me, the fact that I just love doing like lots of things, like I'll probably like, my dream, I guess, would be to get my master's, work as a pharmacist for like 3 days in a week. Yeah. And then do enough stuff creatively that financially it feels like I'm working 5 days a week. Okay. That would be my dream. Like I don't want like much, you know what I mean? But like pharmacy is a pretty nice job to have in terms of like flexibility and security, and I enjoy it. And I wouldn't like in my head if I had like a whole free slate of time just to give to art, because I feel like that'd be intimidating to me. Yeah. I like the fact that I'm like, oh, I have this sliver and I have to see how much I can fit in that small period of time. Like, I kind of like the challenge.
Time is kind of directing.
Yeah, it's the crunch hour situation of like when you know you have like a load of stuff on, that's when you actually start getting stuff done because you know you have to. Yeah. I kind of like live off of that. So I'd much rather like have like my balance of two things. You know what I mean? Yeah. For sure.
That makes sense. Like what are what are some unexpected inspirations or unexpected things that were inspiring your work recently in the tape that people might be surprised by?
Probably the Brazilian music, but we've kind of talked on that a lot. I'm trying to think of other.
Guess because like you're like asking about influences is like a really broad, wide ranging thing. But for me, like I just noticed how much of like theatrics plays into what you do. And off camera, we were talking about like wrestling and stuff and how they blur the line so well between fiction and reality, and that adds like a whole other element to it where you're guessing or you're being made to sort of work out as it's going on what's real, what's not. Yeah. And like even with your music, it's got kind of a surreal twist to quite a lot of it.
Yeah, a lot of it is, I guess it's like, I feel like you can look at it in like the wrestling influence of the one thing that I really respect about a lot of wrestlers, and the one thing that like all good wrestlers will tell you, is that any good wrestling character is just somebody, is just themselves turned up to 11. I think Stone Cold Steve Austin said that, or just a load of people always say like just the best wrestling characters are when you're just yourself turned to 11. And the moment like every wrestler will talk about it, like the switch where they know they're getting over, they know they become like really popular, is when they just have so much fun and just be themselves. And that's when it's like, oh, that's when the crowds react, because they're like, oh, this isn't hard, this isn't a character, this is just him being himself a little bit more like turned up. Yeah. And that's how I like look at anything I do like creatively. Like everything is just like me. Like sometimes like I might just like turn up a little bit more, but it's like at the end of the day it's like very true to me. And I always just like think of that in the back of my head of just like just yourself. Like you'll always kind of succeed when you're just being you, because you can only be you. Like no one else can really be you, you know what I mean? Like you can always like kind of chase being something else. You can always be influenced by something, but even being influenced by something that's still you, it's still like your melting pot of different influences that's completely different to someone else's melting pot of different influences. You can all listen to like the same music, but no one's like putting like the wrestling into like Brazilian music, into hip hop. Yeah, you know what I mean? Not a lot of Tyler the Creator fans are also like, actually, no, that's a bad example, because I think a lot of Tyler Creator fans would probably be like Brazilian music and wrestling fans.
Did you listen to the new album, Chromacopia?
I've been rinsing it.
Well, do you like it? Yeah,
I do like it. Part of it is like, I don't know if it's just me and nostalgia, but there's definitely like a bit of like, I feel like old, especially in the instrumentals, there's like the old aspect of Tyler coming in. You know what I mean? Like shades of just like Wolf in like the way it's like being presented. Well, once again, like something I really admire of Tyler is just like the fact he's able to tell stories. And I really do like stories and just world building. I'm big into just like building worlds, and he's really, really good at doing that. Like I will never beat the Tyler Creator allegations, you know what I mean? Like
I think there's something about like the way he dropped it and stuff as well. It's just refreshing, because like the whole New Music Friday, like dropping stuff, then it just feels like overwhelming. There's so much music coming, and for him to just do it on a Monday with like 2 weeks notice or something. Yeah,
literally, you just like, it's me, I make good music, you know that, here you go.
There's not many people I think that could do that, because they fucking need to promote stuff, but like
I saw a comment that Joe Budden made, and I was like, he's kind of spitting here.
Okay, what's
because he was like he said Tyler the Creator is what people think J. Cole is in terms of like the hype. He was like, you know what I mean? Like everything, he's like, everything people be praising J. Cole for, Tyler the Creator does it, but better, and he's been doing it better. You know what I mean? I was like, J. Cole, I kind of do get it.
J. Cole's stock has fallen so much, I think, in the last like year. Like I think a lot of his music has aged quite badly as well.
True. I think from like, I like checked out after like Forest Hills Drive.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Same.
Crooked Smile, listen to like the Forest Hills Drive was like nice, but then after that I was just like, like I did not really care.
It's also kind of like anytime I hear him speak, like a lot of the stuff he's rapping about just falls flat, because it just comes across as really like faux deep kind of.
You know what I mean? It's like I feel like he's making music for the unks.
Yeah.
Like music for the unks, man. Like it's whatever, man. Just fix your teeth. Just go fix your teeth. Like, who cares?
You see when people. My theory is that when rappers fix their teeth, they get worse. Like, so I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, not maybe worse, but some changes. Like,
what was J. Cole the outlier?
I don't know. Maybe he's the switcheroo.
Yeah,
like,
maybe he would have gotten better if he fixed his teeth.
Well, it's maybe not that people get worse, but when Danny Brown fixed his teeth, the world went to shit. Like, I feel like that was the domino effect, because that Danny Brown having the like crazy hair, like crooked teeth.
Yeah, they're just like now he's just like clean shaven,
Yeah.
just wearing shirts and stuff.
Here,
being
but
clean.
talking about unks, like Earl Sweatshirt has actually just
He fully has, man. He even said in the song in El Custo,
Yeah.
he's putting on the unk weight, and I rock with it, bro. He shaved the dreads off. He's presentable. I can bring him to mom now. You know what I mean?
I think it's kind of cool that he's like going into trap music a wee bit more as well, man.
He's another like big influence for me, and another like strong example of you know what I mean? He knows he can rap.
Yeah.
Like Earl Sweatshirt is like objectively one of the best like rappers ever. Like he can write very, very, very well. But he's like, that's cool. But what if I'm just having fun instead?
Yeah,
Well, you know what I
man.
mean? Like sometimes like people get trapped in their head, like rap is all about like the bars and how crazy I do stuff like that. But you know, like a lot of other aspects of music are great too. Like how like rhyming pattern or just like how like just like how things sound. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And like Earl Sweatshirt's a perfect example of like he could have just stuck to just being like a rapper's rapper, man, and just rap. But he was like, don't care. Much rather do more experimental stuff that sounds cooler. And I don't even need, like, people know I can rap. So
Yeah.
why do I need to, like, rap all the time? And then, like, you know what I mean? You went on to go and, like, influence, like, your mics and everything. And just, like, basically, like, breed a beautiful new scene of hip-hop.
And then Mike's
fucking
almost
love.
like influencing him now.
And
I
now it's
think.
going full circle, yeah, because now like all them young ones that were all like bigging up Earl Sweatshirt and like loved Earl Sweatshirt are now like influencing him to get back into it, and it's just fueling like breathing new life into it.
Yeah.
Like I bet like Earl's having the time of his life.
It looks like it.
Like
It
hanging
looks
out,
like it.
you know what I mean?
I
I think
think-
it's hard, but it's gonna be alright. Like
Man, the bar about Gaza on that new song with El Costa, like class. He's one of the few rappers actually speaking out about it
I'm
as
not
well.
surprised, man. I'm really not surprised. I remember like when I listened to some rap songs, man, and that was like something clicked in my head after I heard that, man. That was a beautiful project.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic project. And like from that day I was like I need to start like making music that make me feel like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just so raw. I really do enjoy just rawness in music, just like being vulnerable and having fun. Like a lot of songs now of mine I have like I'll never like you'll hear like the full take. You'll hear me like giggle and laugh like after a take in a song. So I'm like, that's real. That's what happens. Like why would I take the real out of the song?
Yeah.
Don't like it. That's why I love like fade outs in songs too, because I always think it's like, especially in Brazilian music, they're really good at doing fade outs where it's like they'll just keep playing and the song just fades out. And in my head, it's like I'm leaving the club. I'm like, they're still having fun. They never stopped. Like they stopped recording and they just kept going. And they were just having fun and we just like pulled back. And I love that idea. Just every time, like, you know what I mean? The music's not stopping. We're just not listening to it right now. You know what I mean? We're just going to close the blinds on that. It's beautiful.
Where you see for some of the interludes and stuff that you had in the tape, and that like it sounded like stuff from television. Where did those actually come from?
I Googled Brazilians 90 television noises. I was
Damn.
like, Brazilians, like, I did my research, man. I looked up like old, like, Brazilian cable TV from the 90s and just like all like the different channel like intros and stuff, and I was like, throw them in. Like I looked up like Brazilians, like I think in Acanado, I just looked up like Brazilian soundscapes, and it's a video of a guy walking in Brazil, like recording on his phone, just walking in Brazil in the rain time, and I was like, throw that in. Like I found a guy who'd gone to Brazil and he makes like I think it's like Marco Malesso or something. Like he's this American dude who went to Brazil, and he like 8 years ago just like made a whole thing just called like Brazilian like soundscape, and he just like cut a load of like sounds he got from him recording people in the streets in Brazil, and a lot of it just like people just like having fun making music and shit like that, because Brazilians are just so good at like they almost make music like it's like they have to, like they'll find anything to make music. And it's like really beautiful and organic. So it's just like him recording all the street sounds. And I like put that in the track as well, like in the end of At the Logo, just where it's just like, you're in the street. I was like, this is so like inconsequential. Just like one part of another like big world of like an active living ecosystem of people just having fun and doing their own things. And we're just like zoom into one part of it. But there's like a lot of extra fun stuff happening. So like, I don't know, man. Whenever I just have like a fun idea, man, I'm very good. And I also just really like just going like full steam ahead in it. I like being very authentic. I'm like, no one else is going to recognize this stupid small thing. all recognize the stupid small thing. So I have to do it justice.
But I think that's the kind of like nowadays people are incentivized to make things that are straightforward, very digestible. Whereas a lot of your tape is like coded, like it's in a different language. Like you're saying, there's little bits of texture and stuff that fades out, having all these little bits that people might not necessarily understand. And I think that encourages people to dig deeper. It's like the opposite of what is being incentivized at the moment.
It's a challenge for me. It's like whenever I do stuff like that, it's kind of challenging myself and my own kind of little issues of like people not understanding me. That was a big thing when I was growing up. Like when I went to Sierra Leone, because I spoke like English and my Creole, which is like the main language in Sierra Leone, wasn't the best. It wasn't that it wasn't even the best. I could speak it and I could understand it. I just was like really shy, so I wouldn't speak it. So then not a lot of people would understand me when I'm just speaking English, and I'm also like speaking really like mumbly and like shy and nervous, so people wouldn't understand me. When I was younger, I'd suck my thumb a lot, so people couldn't understand me. And then when I came back to Ireland, I still like mumble a lot as well, and I ramble, so people just don't understand me. So it's like on the tape, I'm kind of just like not leaning into it, but just acknowledging it's like it doesn't really matter. You don't need to like. I'm not gonna force you to like pick up on every little small thing. Yeah. Just like take it for what it is and listen to it. Like the only people that are gonna know that Portuguese stuff are like people who speak Portuguese. Yeah. I only know it because like I told him what to say, and like I talked him through it, and he translated to me and sent it back to me. But like other than that, you know what I mean? Like you don't like it's the same with my lyrics, man. There's some stuff I say in songs and I'm like, damn, that's really like depressing and sad and like really heartfelt. And like somebody might not pick up on it, and I'm like, cool. Who cares? Yeah. You know what I mean? I hopped in the brand new zippity doo dah. Whatchamacallit? You know what I mean? Like who cares? So long as you listen to it and you enjoyed to listen to it and it made you feel something and you picked up something for yourself. You picked up your own like interpretation of whatever. That's all that matters.
Yeah. That's class. I was doing some research on Sierra Leone a while back. I was reading about Creole, and I was actually wondering because I was reading that it borrows from Portuguese and stuff in some parts. It
does, yeah, because Creole it's an English-based, like all those languages are called Creoles, and Creole is just the name of this Creole.
Yeah.
And it's like an English-based one is like comparable to like Pidgin in Nigerian and Patois in Jamaica. But it's like, I kind of think it's higher level because like if you speak Creole, you can kind of understand all of those other ones. But like say like somebody from Nigeria, if I was speaking Creole to them, they'd know most of it, but they wouldn't know all of it. Yeah. If I went to like somebody in Jamaica who's speaking Patois, I can understand the Patois. They couldn't understand the Creole. And I think part of that is because we pick a load of like words from other languages as well. Like if you want to say a lot in Creole, you say beaucoup, which is just like in French. And I didn't know it was French when I was younger because I just grew up speaking Creole. So then I heard French and I was like, oh, that's kind of like beaucoup in Creole. And then like even when you say like a little kid in Creole, it's piquin, which is like pequeña in Portuguese. Yeah, it's Spanish and Portuguese as well. So there's like a load of small stuff, but it's mainly like English based. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the last time you were on the pod, like you talked about you were born in Ireland?
Yeah. I was born in Ireland. When I was 9, I moved to Sierra Leone. And then when I was sorry, they're singing Unwritten outside. And they're hitting it too. Sorry, got distracted. I love that song, man. I'm really bedding in fields right now. But no, I was born in Ireland. When I was 9, I moved over to Sierra Leone with my family. And when I was 13, I moved back to Ireland to stay in like my best friend's house, Killian, who was like my neighbor 2 doors down, and I was living there with my family. So I've been staying with him since then. So I've been there for like just nearly like 11 years. It's been a while.
I'm sure that like, what were the big differences culturally? Because you sort of touched on the fact that it was a bit difficult even communicating and stuff when you were going back to Sierra Leone. What were the big differences culturally for you going back there?
Like the first time, like when I moved.
Yeah.
I think it was just like, it's weird when you go over to a place and you feel like a stranger when you feel like you shouldn't feel like a stranger. It's like a very like messed up thing that happened to me a lot. And I feel like a lot of like kind of second generation kids will always feel this, where you feel like you kind of like slip in between the cracks of 2 different cultures. Like I could never fully say like, oh, I felt like fully Irish. You know what I mean? Just cause like I wouldn't some would say I wouldn't look stereotypically Irish, and then also because of the fact that I like grew up in my like Sierra Leonean household, I'd have things different. And then because I went to Sierra Leone as well and came back, I have things that are different. And I do things differently and I think differently. But then when I went to Sierra Leone, like other people are looking at me as quite westernized, you know what I mean? I'm like soft spoken, and a lot of people aren't really soft spoken. I'm really quiet and shy. I don't like making noise and stuff for the most part. A lot of other people do. And it's crazy because like I'd come over to Ireland, everyone be calling me like all like excited and loud and stuff, and like uncharacteristically like loud or whatever and excitable and chatty and stuff like that, and just like different to how they'd be. And I go to Sierra Leone and everyone would be like, oh, Kareem's very different because he's like not saying a word and is very shy and awkward.
It's kind of like that Earl Sweatshirt bar to White for the Black Kids.
Literally.
Yeah.
When he said that, I was like, damn, he really fucking spitting. Like, I was like, damn. I was like, who told him? Like, I should talk to this guy. You know what I mean? Like, I heard that line and I was like, I think I'm going to like Earl.
But that's the whole point about like that kind of stuff you're talking about. Like those, it's not every lyric is for everyone as well. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like you can like acknowledge that somebody will say something. It's like, oh, that's not for me, or like that's a good bar regardless. Yeah. And there's like people that like shit like that like really hits. Like I heard that and I was like, that's real. Like that's a struggle for sure for a load of people, just like falling into the cracks and stuff. And I noticed as well with that comes like a lot of people that aren't like embedded or like initially raised in like their culture like that. Like say like people who are like from Africa, but or like their parents moved from Africa and they're born and raised in Ireland, more often than not, they'd almost like try harder to learn more about their culture than somebody who's already in it and may have taken it for granted. You know what I mean? Like I remember I was like showing my mom a load of old, not Sierra Leonean songs, so we don't have like much, but just like my mom's like Guinean, which is like, Guinea is right next to Sierra Leone. It's a neighboring country and it's like French colonized, but she's also like half like Malian as well. So she's from Mali. And I'll show my mom a load of like old like French language like songs from either Mali or like the Ivory Coast and stuff like that I just like found when I was like digging for random songs. And then like old songs like my mom would have played me ages ago inconsequentially, or I would have just heard when I was in Sierra Leone, and then like years later I found them again. I put them all in like a big playlist. My mom's like, how do you know these songs? Or like I'd be showing her songs that she's like, I don't even know this song. I don't know how you know all these old people's songs. And it's just because I wanted to. Find it. Whereas like, you know, you have people who be living there and just like take it for granted. They don't really care. It doesn't mean nothing to them at that time. Are you big into getting into rabbit holes and researching and digging for music generally? Yeah, I'd say so. Like just been getting into any like rabbit holes in general. Like in terms of music, I feel like I could do a little bit better. I think like my main one got like taken up when I got into like my big Brazilian rap. I got like outsourced, but I definitely do go into like phases of like, oh, this is the thing I want to figure out more about. I remember it was like when I was listening to kind of like the big like kind of rock phase that hit Africa in like the 70s and 60s. Like a load of like Zamrock. Like Zamrock was like a big like mini like rabbit hole I went to. I think Tyler's sampled some. He did, yeah, Zambian one. Yeah. Like that's like a good example. What else is another one? I'm trying to get into like a rabbit hole of Riot Girl music. Really? Yeah, because it's so powerful, man. Yeah. It's so powerful, man. You pop off. Yeah. I was like, they gotta make Riot Girl buffer, bro. I think that's just called rock. But no, just I don't know, man. Anything that has like a fun story to me, I'm like, I'm hooked. You know what I mean? Like a fun, silly story of the origins. I'm like very hooked. Very, very hooked on that. Like how just like one's culture just like magically like comes to someone else's and then it just gets melded into its own thing. An interesting one for me is like how Italians loved old American music like a lot, to the point where they'd make their own versions, but they don't speak English, so they just speak gibberish that sounds American. What? Like a guy like made like a whole song that sounds like a Elvis ripoff, and it's him just speaking gibberish, but like he's saying like he's speaking how Italians hear English, and he did that, and he went platinum. What? Like, it's just that crazy thing of just like, yeah, like we just like that. We just love American culture. Like that's why spaghetti westerns exist, because like Italians are just like, gosh, we love cowboy films. We should make cowboy films. We love them so much. You know what I mean? Or just like how anything Japanese people like, they do perfectly. Like if you notice, like if they like Japanese people are so good at like, oh, I like this thing, I'm going to do my own version of it really well. Like in terms of like music and culture and everything. Like there's like Japanese greasers and they meet up in parks and they just like have leather coats, collars popped, and slick hair, and they just fucking rock out. And that's just their thing. They're like, gosh, we love being greasers. Or just like Japanese people who love being cholos because they love like what's it called, Chicano culture.
Yeah.
And just getting lowrided, and they're like, gosh, I love it. It's like
we don't really have any
crazy.
cool subcultures like that are like paying homage to other places. I don't think in Ireland.
Donegal has football drink. That's pretty cool. Or Dundalk, I should say, has like, is it Dundalk? There's one of them.
There's Donegal, that Donegal lemonade. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, one of them has a football drink, and I've never had football drink before, and I really want
football
to.
special.
Yes. Is that Donegal or Dundalk?
Yeah, it's Donegal.
Donegal, yeah. That's pretty something. That's
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
What's it called? No, he's not Irish, but there's Gil Scott Heron's dad, who's
Played for Celtic.
Yeah, football player, played for Celtic. I was like,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
that
Small
is.
world situation.
Who's it? I think he also did. Let me Google this. He did the voice for.
Guys, don't believe everything you see, man. Dylan Murphy doesn't actually know everything, man. I'm actually seeing him on his phone Googling stuff right now.
I'm just making
ChatGPT
sure.
wrote this whole interview. I don't know if you knew that.
I'm Googling it just to confirm before I say it, but his father, or no, Jill Scott Heron voiced a really famous advert. Let me see. Advert. It's for a soda. It's a really famous.
I'm trying to think what weird, silly things Ireland have. We've got Gaelic, which is like, we just have our own sport. Like, not a lot of countries can say they have that.
There is. Oh, I think it's the Tangoed advert. Yeah, you just been tangoed. That was Jill Scott Heron.
Man. Is
Yeah.
that real? Why did he do that?
I don't know.
He's just like, I'm gonna do this now. That's gonna be a fun ad idea. I love that so much, man. I love people just doing stupid things. Just doing random stuff. Or even like, you know, the McDonald's jingle.
Yeah.
Pusha T. He makes so
Yeah.
much money every time that gets played.
That's
And he
crazy.
did another jingle as well. Like, he does jingles like frequently. I forgot which other one he did, but he did like, I think he did like something for Wendy's, and he's like, yeah, that's another bag.
Frank Ocean did one for Chipotle. I'm gonna have to Google this again because my brain's fried. But I'll just search Frank Ocean Chipotle, and he basically yes. So Chipotle sued Frank Ocean in 2014 for not recording a song he wrote, and
Oh, I think I've heard it.
so in 2014, Chipotle asked Frank Ocean if he could cover Gene Wilder's Pure Imagination for an ad campaign Chipotle was doing. He was going to get $212,000 for recording the song, and then another like double the amount for finishing it. And then he refused to do it because he said the logo wouldn't be in the campaign. So they sued him for the damages, and he wrote a cashier's check, and it was signed "fuck off" on it.
He's so funny, man.
Like the side
He's so
quests
funny.
people be doing.
I am with like king of side quest. Like I think that's what I love the most about music, is just because it gives you more opportunity to do other silly side quests, and you can just justify and be like, oh, it's for the brand, it's for stuff. Like, I didn't have to train to do pro wrestling. I just was like, it'd be funny though. Like, this Sunday, I'm going to like a Vogue class.
No way.
Yeah, I want to learn how to death drop. Like, I'm just like, sets need that. I need to just be able to fucking hit that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I need to know these extra bits. You'll never know when you need to like hit a death drop or go through a table in a set. So I'm always like preparing. I'm always preparing, man.
Man, what other side quests have you done?
Okay. I've done that. The wrestling, the voguing, the acting. I did that. A lot of acting when I was younger.
That's a lot of shit. It all kind of just coalesces
It all
into
just
what
works
you're doing.
out
Like,
perfectly. You know what I mean? I did that. I'm big into any game that has like a character creation thing in it. I'm big into that, man. I actually, let me see if I can get some pictures, but the new WWE game, you can upload like people's faces into it.
yeah.
Like you can upload like any like JPEG picture and you can use it as a face. And I took that very, very seriously. And I ended up making like all the like, I'm trying to do a tournament where I get a load of like Dublin creatives to play themselves in the game. So I made like a load of people. This is fucked. This is so. So I made face maps. Everyone. That's
God.
That's Eduardo. That's a Khaki Kid. That's a Gavin Curtis. Yeah, we've got Edie Artist, we've got Khaki Kid, we've got Courtesy.
Courtesy be looking like the kid that always had yogurt on his t-shirt in school.
Man, Courtesy just looks like the prettiest girl you've ever seen. He just has pretty feminine features. Whoopie, shout out to him. Where's fun? The best part is, man, I have like Fat Boy from Brick Nasty, and then I just put the mask on him. So only I know that his face looks like it under the mask. Like no one can see his face in the game because he's wearing the balaclava like he normally does. But I'm like, I know that it's his face underneath that, and that's why I did that.
Remember to bleep out his name, and I'm just saying this to bleep out his name during the edit as well.
Yes, please do. Just put like a censor my mouth with the Brick Nasty logo every time I say it.
I want to ask before we finish up. I just want to do some quick fire questions with you. What's your favorite project out of Ireland this year, aside from your own?
Aside from my own project, the last Brick Nasty tape was pretty sexy, but also Pippa and Rory Sweeney dropped a beautiful project, which I really, really liked. I really, really liked that. It was like Pippa's debut project. Was it Happy Ghosts or something? Some ghost. I should know the name of it. I'm bad with names, but it's really, really beautiful work there. Like I was listening to Falling on the way down here, and I'm really, really big fan of that. Anything Gavin's been doing, really, anything Courtesy's been doing has been like tops for the culture for sure. Who else did project that I really like? I'm also just looking forward to a lot of people that I know are coming up. Like I know Lil Skaggs is doing bits. It's gonna be very, very fun.
Yeah.
So I'm just like buzzing for all the boys. Darren Nijo, the artist, dropped like 2 songs like just yesterday actually, and they're crazy. Yeah, he dropped those 2 songs, and he had like a show yesterday. It was really, really fun. So
nice. Cosmic Girl stays in my rotation. As
it should, man. It's a banger, man.
Classic.
We started like playing that live again, and I was like, why did we stop playing this live? This is so fun.
Okay, next one is, what's the weirdest unsolicited DM you've ever got?
Oh God. I'm trying to even think of one, but just the idea of like, because I know I've gotten some like weird stuff for sure. I'm trying to think the most random unsolicited like DM. I'll just keep it pretty simple for now, but like a load of people from my old school will message me and just be like, "Oh, I love your music," and I'm like, "That's cool," but I was never like in school when you were in school. Like you're that young, you know what I mean? Like I graduated.
Well, no people
like,
in your
yeah,
year.
no, I graduated like years after you joined. So how do you know that? So I'm just like figuring out how like
maybe they have a statue of you up in school.
They have to, man. I won like the prefect award like before I left. Like I was just the best prefect. They really fucked with me.
Ahmed with honor.
I'm with honor, man. I'm a responsibility.
And then another quick fire question I want to do is, what's your dream blunt rotation?
Ooh, okay. Jesus Christ. Pink Pantheress. Tyler the Creator, but I want to just see him toke a little vape. That's it. I don't even want him to like smoke too much because I know he doesn't smoke. Same with Lil Yachty. I know he doesn't smoke, but I just want him there with a shisha pipe. And who else? Probably my mom. I think if I could convince my mom to smoke a joint, like with all of these people, I'd be pretty happy with that. That's a pretty tough blunt rotation, I think. And Gavin Curtis, just sitting there because I want to share with him as well. Okay, Mike and Earl, they get their own. That's a separate blunt rotation. We're smoking with them like downstairs on another day, and then we're just gonna go have some ice cream and play a game or something.
The final one I want to ask you as well is like, if the mixtape was a message in a bottle, and you put it in the sea, and someone finds it 100 years from now, what's the main message you want them to take away and find?
I want them to listen to that project and go like, oh, that sounds like a cool guy. I want them to listen to that project and go like, oh, I feel like I know how he operates. I learned a lot about him. That would be my main takeaway.
Sick. Have you got anything to shout out or any message to the people back home?
Just anyone who's been rocking with the mixtape, Fullstop, just keep doing that. I'm really proud of it. You know what I mean? It's like a good piece of art. I'm pretty proud of just like how this year's been going. You know what I mean? I've had a lot of like lows personally, but a lot of ups professionally and personally as well. But that is the ebb and flow of life anyway. You know what I mean? From the L's, you take the W's. And yeah, you know what I mean? I'm just happy to be here. I hope you guys are happy to be here. Stream Fullstop. I'm gonna be doing a lot more stupid stuff. Clash at the Keys 2 is coming next year by the grace of God. By the grace of God, I'm going through another table next year. And by the grace of God as well, more funny tapes, man. Freaking want to do a collab situation with my favorite boys, and they know who they are. And yeah, man, I'm just trying to vibe out, man. If you want me to make you in WWE 2K, please hit me up. I will, no joke, make you one of one fully. And I mean that. That's a promise.
Nice one, man.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, man. Stay safe and drink your milk.
Peace.